Hello there. Today I'd like to talk to you briefly about landlords and a few of the problems I see associated with having too many of them and too much rent-seeking behavior in your economy. Let's get started. First, there's an economic issue. Now, the first economic issue that arises is the diversion of investment capital. And simply put, because landlords like to spend most of their money buying more housing for themselves, that is money that they are not putting into other more productive areas of the economy. Stuff like small business, manufacturing, and innovation, the stuff that actually allows us to get things done as people and as a society. Instead, their money tends to go into the least productive aspects of the housing market. And the reason I say least productive is because typically it's not producing anything. Most landlord activity is going to be a landlord buying an existing asset, so they're shuffling the ownership title over something that's already there, not creating anything new to add to the economy, which means that in most cases, their investment capital is going to oversee the maintenance of an asset that's already there, not the creation of anything new. However, in a landlord's case, because of their profit motive, they are always going to be incentivized to invest as little as necessary in the upkeep of their property so that they can pass any costs they can along on to the next purchaser, thereby maximizing their profit, which means there's a very good chance that in a landlord's case, a lot of the time their investment capital is being used to oversee the deterioration of an existing asset, as well as missing out on the opportunity to participate in the creation of something new, which is doubly bad for our economy. However, here it gets even worse because what happens to the renter's income? Because the renter is obligated to provide both the base cost of that deteriorating housing plus a margin of profit for the landlord, it means they also don't have any money to invest in those more productive areas of the economy. Any money they do have is going to get redirected through the landlord and into that non-productive housing sector, leaving the productive and important areas of our economy starved out from two very important sources of income. Next matter we've got is a social issue, and this is sort of the squishy mirror image to what's happening up here. Instead of wasted financial capital, it's wasted human capital. So because we view it as increasingly normal for landlords to place pretty crazy restrictions on people's freedoms when they're living as tenants, it means that a lot of tenants end up living with a lack of what we've come to consider to be the basic dignity that is supposed to come along with being an adult living on your own in today's society. So because a lot of people are living with that lack of basic dignity, it means they can't develop properly. A lot of people aren't going to be able to start families, to start a small business, to innovate solutions to their own problems. And so because they can't develop, they really have nothing to contribute to society. Society as a whole misses out on all the children they might have had, the businesses they might have started, the ideas they might have had if they were in a healthier living situation. And as more and more people are no longer able to contribute, society as a whole starts to deteriorate. As society deteriorates, it becomes more accepting of this arbitrary lack of dignity being inflicted upon certain of its members for no real reason. And this kicks off what is a pretty tragic, but I think avoidable, cyclical trash compactor of lost opportunity and sadness. And finally, we've got the democratic issue. And this is the scary one, the big deal, the five-alarm fire, all hands on deck matter. Because the current formula that we have for determining who gets to participate in our democracy, where and how, is that citizenship plus an address is what gets you a vote. And that means that due to the extent to which private investment capital has started to completely dominate the home ownership market, it means we are increasingly living in a world where a very small group of people with very totally profit-based motivations can displace an entire community with 30 days notice before an election. And if you thought gerrymandering was bad, which it very much is, this could potentially make things a lot worse real fast, and we cannot allow this to continue. We have to do something about this, and we cannot continue to allow other people's profit incentives to be prioritized over our right to participate in our own democracy. So these are just a few of the problems that I see associated with having too many landlords and too much rent-seeking behavior in your economy. Hopefully you'll join me in a future video. We can talk about some more problems and, more importantly, solutions to those problems then. Thank you very much for watching. Stay beautiful, everybody.